Hello, fellas and ladies. It's time to review Anemone, better known in the film world as the triumphant return of Daniel Day-Lewis. Have you heard of him? Have you heard of him, you big baby? Kind of a big deal. He hasn't acted since Phantom Thread in 2017. And while that was the perfect send-off for the GOAT, he's back anyway! Co-written by him and directed by his boy, Ronan Day-Lewis. In his debut direction, I should say. Some new levels of Nepo shit going on. Anemone sees Daniel Day-Lewis as a troubled guy suffering from a lot of PTSD for a lot of reasons, and has outcasted himself in a hut in the woods. And this movie follows his sequestering being halted by his brother coming to get him, played by Sean Bean. You're coming in for Daniel Day-Lewis. Let's talk about Daniel Day-Lewis. Let's talk about how great he is. He's still got it. There was no doubt. We all know he's talented. Is there even a doubt that he wasn't going to kill it? A lot of this movie, spoiler alert, isn't great. But a lot of what we learned from this guy, I got a lot about this character through Daniel Day-Lewis' performance. How silent he is, how reserved he is, how his attitude, the way he presents himself. He has 2 monologues. Like, I'm curious to see the script for this movie, just to see how many pages those monologues took up. Must have been like 4 pages, honestly. He is, my guy is clearly carrying a lot of pain in this performance, and Day-Lewis doesn't miss a beat. He's the GOAT. Samantha Morton's also a really big standout in this movie. She has a lot to do. She gives a very layered performance. She's definitely got her own little bit of pain, mostly caused by Day-Lewis. There's a certain element of that character that I didn't like, mostly like what we learn her relationship with Sean Bean and Daniel Day-Lewis is. It's a little didn't really like it, but it still works, and she's great. Sean Bean is so wasted. He's good. He doesn't do a bad job per se, but a lot of his performance is just like reacting, going like, ugh, look at what my brother has done. My goodness, what does my brother become? That's a lot of Sean Bean in this movie, unfortunately. Kind of a waste. There's a son character in the movie that every time they go to this, I'm just like, this, I don't care. He's not bad, but this movie, the best way I can put it, unfortunately, is Ronan Day-Lewis. This guy's got something to prove. I get it. Your dad's Daniel Day-Lewis. I would also be a little scared, but man. Maybe don't cast your dad then. I mean, I'm sure that's why this movie got made. It's because Daniel Day-Lewis is in it, but I don't know. Anemone has a problem, and this movie's clearly trying to tackle some form of generational trauma, like in a different extent. They talk about like certain things that happened to them, that's happened from their father, and how it's now gone to this kid. And I get all that. Problem is, I can't tell this movie's either oversimplified or actually very brilliant, because the movie kind of keeps it vague. I think its statement on generational trauma feels a little out, because there's a lot of like symbolism in this movie. Some of it works, some of it really doesn't. There's something that happens towards the end where I think everybody who I saw it with was just like, what the fuck was that about? I think a little bit on tryhard mode, which I hate to say, but like, dems the facts. Direction of this movie feels a little all over the place. It looks nice. I actually would say the cinematography is pretty beautiful. Honestly, it's stunning at moments. Problem is, it just kind of has a tonal problem. There's one scene in particular where like Daniel Day-Lewis does one of these devastating monologues where he's like on the verge of like breaking down and like screaming and salivating, and then out of somewhere it just turns into something completely different within the scene, and I'm just like, what's happening here? Some of the shots don't belong in this movie, and it just kind of feels like Ronan Day-Lewis like, oh, I got an idea, and just forgot that he had to make a movie. There are moments where atmospherically this movie has actually really got me intrigued. Like, there's a really long scene where Day-Lewis and Sean Bean are just silent. And in theory, it works because of them two, but I think direction-wise, I was kind of thinking, obviously there's something unspoken here, but like I feel that there's no tension here. I feel like there's a lot of things in this movie that could have gone better if it was a little more focused. There's a scene where they're like walking across a field. Even narratively, it's about like we find out why Sean Bean has arrived, and it's like, well, why the fuck did we do all this then? Like, what the fuck? I don't know. There's just so much of this movie that feels like it's hidden, like the movie's being vague on purpose. Maybe if I watch it again, I'm like, oh, now I see the big thing, but it doesn't change the fact that the movie's doesn't really move at a pace that works. It's tonally all over the place and doesn't quite have a moment to really ground it. And then like, oh my god, it really goes off the rails in the end. It kind of loses itself entirely, and it just, at that point I was just like, all right, it's time to wrap it up. I mean, I love that we're seeing Daniel Day-Lewis again. But I think we need something a little more, and the more I get is through him. But that's you need some boosting. But like the fact that you need a boost from a lead performance isn't great. It's a little too vague for its good, I think. And the movie's so like insisting on bringing these metaphors and imagery like in your face and hoping to God that you piece it together. And I'm just like, am I stupid or do I just not get some of these? There's one in particular that I'm like, this is not the same movie anymore. That happens, and everyone I talked to after I was like, did you get that? And they're like, no. The score is also really mismatched. It felt like an Evanescence song at some point. I don't know why that was the tone of the music in this movie, but hey, it's not bad music, it's just not in this movie. The tone of this movie is just all over the place. I can't get over that. It's not like, I mean, okay, let me rephrase. It's not like, you know, oh, some scenes is funny, some scenes are serious. The movie has a consistent dourness to it, a very serious tone throughout, but I also think the movie doesn't know when to be esoteric and when to be like in your face. I mean, it's very mismatched in that way, and especially in the way that Ronan J. Lewis chooses to shoot the film. He doesn't have a consistent like vision with this movie, and I think that makes it feel a little off, especially with a script that doesn't give away a lot. And what you're left with is an excellent performance from a legend, but not much else. If you're coming just to see the legend Daniel Day-Lewis come back to chew up the scenery, you're gonna get it. But while there's potential hidden deep under Ronan Day-Lewis's vague generational trauma story, it can't seem to pick a tone or path to tell its story, which wound up making it a bit of a sluggish mess. No hard feelings towards this, it's not atrocious, but it is a miss. And for that, I'm gonna have to give Anemone 4.5 Daniel Day-Lewis's Boy out of 10. I don't hate this movie. I want to make it clear, I don't like it, but I don't hate it. I will probably, maybe I'll see it again in time, but not anytime soon, as I'm pretty busy the next couple months. Alright, that's all I got for you guys today. Let's grab and share. Ciao.